Hey y'all, what is good? Welcome back to another video. If you're new, welcome. My name is Morgan. I don't normally wear sunglasses, but I felt like it today, so we're gonna roll with it. If you're returning, welcome back. Today's topic, I want to speak to the men. This one's for you. I speak a lot to the women on here, but I want to address the men on a very important topic in my opinion, and I want to speak on it. Recent pattern in my life, I'm just meeting people in these situations, in these contexts come up, and I want to speak on it to somebody else who may be, experiencing it or need to hear some wisdom about it. So I want to talk about this concept of our body being a temple, and this conversation around men's body count versus women's body count. Does one matter more than the other? Why does one matter? What's the stigma around it? X, Y, and Z. So these are my 2 cents. You can take it or leave it, but we're gonna dive into it. So I want to start off by saying that this can depend on your religious beliefs. I will say that it doesn't matter what your gender is, your sex is. Your body is a temple regardless of if you're male or female, and you should be respecting yourself as such. So when I say your body's a temple, that can mean many things, right? When it comes to, what we consume, what we eat, what we drink. Are we, taking drugs? Are we, working out? Are we, getting enough vitamins and minerals? Those type of things. But I want to speak specifically on sex and this idea that it doesn't matter how many women that men have sex with. It doesn't matter if their body count's 100. It's just what guys do. It's just biology. It's just whatever y'all excuse is every single time. I kind of want to get to the root of the problem and like the root of that idea and kind of break it down a little bit. So if we look at it from, evolutionary perspective, the whole point of humans is to reproduce and keep our race going. And so men are able to impregnate as many women as they want to try to pass down their genes, blah, blah, blah. We've heard that story before. But in society now, in our culture now, that's not necessarily the case. Like, we're not trying to have 17 baby mamas. That's not what we're on. But the drive to have sex with many women is still there for men, usually. But I want to bring on a different perspective to kind of encourage you, women and men, to look at that differently. I think a lot of times men have this expectation that, if you're not getting bitches, you lame. If you're not having sex, you're lame. If your body count isn't X, Y, and Z, you're lame. And I encourage you to take a step back and really look at, are you treating your body with respect if you're allowing any woman access to it? I was having a conversation with somebody that I met, and he was telling me that, after the first time him and Shorty had hung out, things got physical. And I looked at him, and this is me personally, you can have your own opinion, but I said, me personally, if I first met you and it was that easy to gain access to you, I wouldn't respect you, because that showed me that you don't respect yourself. You don't have the discipline to, set boundaries. And if literally any girl can just meet you and have sex with you, that tells me that that's easy access, like you're very accessible. And I think we hear that narrative spoken for women, right? Oh, if women put out on the first night, she's easy, she's gonna do that for anybody. Why isn't that same perspective put on men? Why is it just on women? And that's where, as a woman, this is my opinion, but literally if I had heard that, it would show me that that man doesn't have any sexual discipline. He probably does not submit to God, or he doesn't have any moral compass in that regard, telling him what he should and shouldn't do with his body. Probably a little bit reckless, doesn't know what he wants, definitely doesn't want to start a family or have a serious relationship if he's putting, sex and physical stuff first. These are all things that I don't hear a conversation being had, and all I ever hear is, men have this free pass. But I really ask men to, I ask you to look at yourself and your actions in this regard and figure out, are you a slave to sex? Are you a slave to this idea of like, well, if it's in front of me and I can hit, why wouldn't I? That's a question for your spirit. Is your spirit strong enough to say no? because our flesh is weak, right? We have temptations, we have emotions. You want to mix in some Henny and some weed, and it's wraps. But it's like, are you able to say no in those situations? Are you able to have discernment and discipline and be like, you know what, I could do this, but I'm gonna respect my body, respect my temple, because just as much as it is the stigma on women, I don't understand why it's any different for men. Especially if you want to get deep into it, men, your sperm is literally so powerful. It has the ability to create human life. There is no energy that is stronger and more powerful than the energy that is used to create a whole human being. So if you're out here, that's your life source. Okay, you know, you hear about people doing semen retention, no nut November. You know, they're not releasing their life force because they understand that when you are coming, I'm gonna just say this shit. When you are coming and you're releasing your life source, that energy is leaving you. It's like you're just depleting yourself of the most powerful energy you have within you. And especially if you're just out here like touching and fucking on whoever, it's like, is that woman even worthy of your life source? We keep having this conversation about women, like, oh, is that man worthy to access you? Does he even deserve your coochie? All this. Men, does she deserve your life source? Is she at the same level you are? Is she adding value into your life? You know, you have to look at it. But I'm so tired of it being a one-sided conversation. Men, you have to look at and respect and honor yourselves too. And, you know, really think about, damn, why am I giving away my body to these women? Because in my other video about soul ties, right, if we want to go into that, whenever you have sex with somebody, you are exchanging all 4 levels of energy: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritually. You are combining and connecting with this person, men. So if you're having, you know, all these bodies, you're exchanging yourself and you're giving parts of yourself to these women. Now, I know it's different because men often have the ability to not emotionally connect with somebody, that they can choose not to, you know, have feelings towards women that they have sex with. But that does not mean that other things are not happening unconsciously. And so I really encourage you guys to just take a step back and look at, just because I can, should I? And second of all, understand that your body, your life source, is just as sacred as a woman's. I don't understand why we elevate, you know, women's physicality more than men's, when it takes 2 to tango. It takes 2 of us to make a baby, right? It's 2 parties involved. And I don't like hearing about this where men are like, oh, well, you know, it was right there, I said yes. You have no discipline. You have no discernment. You have no spiritual discipline. If you can't say no, like, that really speaks on, you know, are you addicted to something? Can you say no? Right? And this is where it's like, I'm a woman. Maybe y'all won't listen to me because it's coming from a woman, and I really encourage, you know, older men and men to act as mentors to our younger generation of men who need this, because it's not a new problem. It's always been a thing. But I'd love to hear more conversation about it, because it is concerning, you know what I mean? To have, you know, these young men still out here doing all this stuff, you know, putting themselves in danger, you know, STDs, STIs, are they wearing protection, you know, all the things that go with it. It makes me sad. Like, it makes me sad to see, you know, young men in their 20s, men in their 30s, men in their 40s, you know, still out here giving themselves away for what? For a one-night stand? For pleasure that lasts like 10 minutes or less? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're worth more than that. You have more to offer than just your physicality, right? And this is also the conversation where you want to look at, you know, men are, what does your self-esteem look like? Is that how you're getting your sense of worth? Is that how you're gaining a sense of power? Is that you have the ability to do this, and you take those actions to make yourself feel better? These are all conversations that, you know, I don't see men having. Maybe they're having it, obviously, you know, behind closed doors or whatever. But I just really encourage y'all to take a different look at this and just ask yourself, am I respecting my body? It's not just for women. This is about men too. Men's bodies are temples as well. You have to take care of yourself as well. In order to attract high value women, they're probably not going to be attracted to you if you're out here just having sex with whoever, whenever, because you can. It's just no discipline with it. You have to see yourself as high value and have the ability to be like, they don't deserve it. I'm not in a relationship with them, and they didn't do anything to earn this from me. It goes both ways. It's not just for women. So that's my short and sweet take on this topic. I'd love to hear y'all thoughts. I really hope that more people have this conversation, because it's important, and it's not one-sided at all. It has to go both ways. So let me know what y'all think. I'd love to hear the men and women's comments. So comment below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with somebody that could use this video to their benefit. And I will catch y'all next time.